and welcome to Diecast Restos. My name is Jason and this is a Matchbox 55D Mercury Police Car. It was produced by Lesney from 1968 until 1971. It received Superfast adjustments in 1970, which included removing the auto steer system and increasing the ride height to accommodate the springy Superfast suspension. All were painted white and came fitted with paper police labels or decals. Here is one with its markings in better condition. And here is a Mercury Monterey. Its series serves as the basis for this casting's design. The Mercury was the third police car in the evolution of the Matchbox No. 55. It replaced the Ford Galaxy police car, which I restored quite some time back. This in turn had succeeded the 55B Ford Fairlane police car. Like the Galaxy that preceded it, the Mercury's front grille and rear bumper formed part of the unpainted metal base. A metal base which it shared with the 73C Mercury commuter station wagon. This is why the base inscription reads 55 or 73. Early versions of both can also read 1968 Mercury on the base. Aside for the auto steer system, the main difference between the Galaxy and Mercury models are the chrome hubs with tyres fitted on the latter. It came with a blue beacon, though rare versions have a red beacon fitted. This is reversed on the Superfast model, with red being the more common issue. The off-white interior piece included a driver and passenger in the front seat. Due to its short run, this particular model has become quite scarce. Mine has a bent B-pillar if you compare it to the other side. I rectify this problem by manipulating it with my pliers, tap it with a hammer and screwdriver, and stretch it out again with closed pliers. Earlier I implied that this casting was based on a 1968 Mercury Monterey. The 1968 part is easily identifiable due to the base on early models. However, Mercury's full-sized offerings in 1968 included the Monterey, Montclair and the Park Lane, all near identical. The casting does have a Park Lane badge on the rear quarter. Realistically, it would most likely be based on the Monterey as that is the base model. In my opinion, I see a police Park Lane, a top-of-the-line vehicle, unlikely. Historically, police vehicles almost always are based on entry-level fleet offerings. Additionally, I could find no photo evidence of any mid to late 60s Montclair or Park Lane police cruisers, yet found plenty of images of Montereys. That's my reasoning for going against the grain, in spite of the microscopic Park Lane badging on the casting. It's just my 2 cents though. But please, if I'm wrong, chip in the comments. American autos aren't my forte, so I'm happy to admit I'm wrong if proven so. The 1968 model year Monterey was part of the 6th generation under the nameplate, having been introduced in 1952. It started life as Mercury's flagship car, but by 1955 it lost this status as it was replaced by the Montclair. The already full-size Mercury increased in dimensions for the 57 to 58 third generation. It then became the base trim Mercury offering for the 59 to 60 model years, before the range underwent an overhaul in 1961. It became the equivalent of the Ford Galaxy, sharing its body shell, but differed on the grille and tail lamps. During this time, the Monterey again shifted to flagship status after the Montclair and Park Lane were discontinued, but by 1965 and the 6th gen, the Monterey dropped to base level as the Montclair and Park Lane made their return. It was available as a 4-door sedan or hardtop, or a 2-door hardtop or convertible. The 1968 car was modelled after the Lincoln Continental, as was the entire generation, sharing similarities in the grille, tail lamp lenses and removal of the tail fins. The 1969 to 1974 7th generation Monterey underwent significant revisions. The Montclair became the Monterey Custom, while the Park Lane and Brougham models became the Marquis. Also included in the range revision was the commuter station wagon, which became the Monterey station wagon instead of a separate line. By 1975, Mercury discontinued the Monterey as it consolidated its lineup. The only full-size car to remain was the Marquis. So by now you've seen me strip and repaint the body, polish the base, and now polish the window and beacon. I finalised the base by reattaching the hubs with the tyres fitted and mark the axle ends with liquid chrome. These are my reproduction police stickers. This one fits the hood, and though the fitment area isn't clearly marked with guidelines, the bulge for the grille gives a good indication. It's difficult to rectify if you make a mistake with these sticky labels, more so than with waterslide decals. Each door also receives a shield sticker. I do make a minor mistake in placing this one, but thankfully it hasn't stuck too fast. So here are all of the components which make up my Mercury. Bang goes the beacon into the hole. That's followed and secured by the window transparency. This clips over 2 lugs in the roof. Next in is my washed ivory plastic interior. Then finally the base slots over the 2 rivet posts. And it is screwed together. Here's how my pitiful police cruiser looked to begin with. The only giveaway that this was once a law enforcing vehicle was the scratched and cloudy blue beacon that sits proudly atop it. The paint had thinned, and with it the labels had disappeared over time. The metalwork had also become dull, while the plastics had been coated in grime after years of neglect. Likewise, the chrome hubs had really lost their shine. But here is how the mended Mercury now looks. With a flash, the whole look and feel of the car has been transformed. Admittedly, I did replace the beacon with an LED bulb, but otherwise all the parts are original. Apart of course from the reproduction stickers. However, a fresh coat of white, a polish of the base and windows, and a rechroming of the hubs, and this Mercury looks good to go. Whether it is truly a Park Lane or Monterey, you decide. I love how low this model sits, and just how well that front grille has brushed up. Let me know what your favourite thing about this rare model is in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one, it means a lot more than ever now there are no visible dislikes to gauge against. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already for all the latest. All that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you next year for the next one. Happy New Year!